Hello traders, this is Rich from tradesight. This is the market preview via our proprietary scans for Monday, April 14th, 2014. And please do me a favor, if you find the videos and the scans useful, please give us a thumbs up on YouTube. We appreciate that. So what we're seeing here in the Nasdaq patch is we're seeing a little bit of leveling off. We're still sharply to the downside here. We're down about 1% on Nasdaq, but we're starting to see some signs of a little bit of a short-term exhaustion. Got some contra candles setting up here, and also some RPS signals. Ones that have been pretty nifty have been the RPS signals that are in combination with volume. So keep an eye on those. Got a downside CPS and Biogen. That one's still really weak. That's 3% below the day's open and 2.5% below the day's VWAP. So that's still pretty sick. Open close deviation to the downside in Broadcom, BlackBerry. We've also got that condition in Sina. VWAP deviation in Sina also, but the Sina has an upside RPS. So definitely could see perhaps a little better bidding action tomorrow. Moving on to the financials, let's start with JP Morgan. JP Morgan was pretty weak this morning. They gapped it down to right around the $55 area. And that's kind of a key area because that 55.5 area is the 200 DMA. So we're trading some good volume, had poor earnings, and the guidance wasn't great. But they are now flirting with a contra candle to lock that into the upside. Stock is playing out above the day's open. So on balance, a lot of volume in the financials. Some of these are still coming out with earnings. Wells Fargo still has earnings come out and is trading volume. So we're seeing that kind of spill over into the whole group. So everybody's just trying to get ahead of it a little bit. But one thing that's really sticking out here is there are no downside continuation signals, which I was actually a little bit surprised to see for the entire sector. Moving on to the energy names. This is not where the action is for the most part. You can see there's no volume bumps here. ACI indicated to the upside, so that could be interesting on Monday. PBR is having a big day. I believe that one did gap in the morning, but that was 4% above the day's open. RIG is still really weak. That's 2.5% below the day's open. That thing's really been sick the last few weeks. Moving on to the generals. Here's where we look again, kind of like the financials. Absence of sell signals here. Have a couple of buy signals here, mostly the contra variety here. We do have a volume bump in VMware, and that one's 1.5% below the day's open. Moving on to the housing names, these are a little bit better to buy. A couple of contra candles here, one in NVR and one in DHI. Note that most of these things are on. This is all pretty light volume. CSX trades some good volume. That one's above the day's open and above the day's VWAP. Got a contra candle in FedEx and also UPS. UPS is trading okay volume. The FedEx is actually fairly light. Moving on to the commodity names, not a lot showing up here. Alcoa and ACH have contra candles. They're both printing good volume today, so keep an eye on those on Monday. And the rest of them are just kind of a mixed bag, and most of them are below the day's VWAP. Even the precious metal names. All right, folks. Well, as always, thanks for listening. This has been Rich for tradesight.